Hello, everyone. Today, I have a story that is as heart-wrenching as it is shocking. It's about the complex dynamics of family relationships and the unexpected choices people make. This is my mother called my son unmanly for kissing his boyfriend, so I kicked her out. Get ready for a tale that will keep you on the edge of your seat as we dive into the intricacies of love, acceptance, and standing up for what is right. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into this captivating story. My mom is a conservative woman. The apple fell far from the tree with me. My mom and I, male 40, already have a rocky relationship because of my religious beliefs. I'm agnostic. My mom is the type of person to try and trap you in her beliefs. Well, despite all that, she's divorcing my dad and going through the divorce right now, and she left the house. She came to my doorstep the other day while my son was at school, asking me to stay. I wanted to say no, but against my better judgment, I let her. I don't think I should have let her in the first place. She would only stay with me for the night to see her family in another state. My son is bi and has a boyfriend. His boyfriend usually comes over after school. They study here, and it simply didn't cross my mind that he'd be coming over. He ended up coming home with his boyfriend. He's aware of my mother's beliefs. I was stuck, trying to avoid an argument. I just said that they'd be studying together and left it at that. Well, I guess when he was leaving, they kissed, and my mom saw it, came to me fuming, asking if I knew about these sins going on under my roof. I reminded her that those aren't sins under this roof, and it's my house. We went back and forth. The argument consisted of her saying that this was way too far. He's only a teenager, and these phases shouldn't be supported, and me just saying to zip it and act like an adult about this and not traumatize a child or don't let the door hit you on the way out. It wasn't until she decided to go to my son impulsively in the middle of my argument, telling him he was unmanly and emasculating himself, acting like a woman. She said that he needs to stop trying to use women's people for themselves. No clue what that meant, and that he looks like a fool spreading the image that he's some feminine male. She tried saying he was going to the bad place, but I walked her out of his room. I told her to get her stuff and find a new place to stay. She argued that she was just saying it like it was. It's a sin. I said that if she focuses on sins, focus on hers with divorcing her husband, and we went back and forth for over 30 minutes of me trying to get her out of my house. Finally fed up, I grabbed her bags, put all her stuff in them, tossed them outside, and told her to get out. Or I'll get more extreme with this. I called my sister to come pick her up. She was waiting for 15 minutes. Mac's mom made it a point to tell the whole family, and they told me that doing that was an idiot move because they made her uncomfortable because we knew her beliefs. I don't think that's right at all. Their reasoning is a no in my opinion, but solely for what I did. Am I the idiot? I feel my only dumb move was letting her in, not the idiot. She claims to be a Christian, but skipped the verses about not judging or loving one another. Your responsibility was to your son, and you took the action necessary to protect him and make sure he knew that you would. Your mother sounds horribly toxic, unfortunately, like a great many people. I'm glad your son is raised by a parent like you and not her. This story has a hypocritical choosing beggar idiot, and it's not you. She disrespected your rules in your house, even while you were doing her a favor. She couldn't zip it for 24 hours. Even if she disapproved, she could have gone to her room and shut up until the morning, or left of her own accord. She chose to die on the hill. Think of it this way. At least now it'll be much easier to go no contact after this, and your extended family told on themselves. Grandma sucks. Get a rainbow flag for the front porch. Maybe it'll work like garlic on vampires, and she'll stay away. I'm 29 male, currently planning a wedding, and we're getting into the nitty-gritty details. For background, my parents got divorced when I was 5. The divorce happened after my dad fell in love with his current wife, my stepmom, Alice. They claimed they didn't cheat, but waited to be separated before anything physical happened. I don't know or need to know whether that's true. My dad and Alice got married, and we were living together by the time I was 7. They had my 2 siblings within the next 4 years. My parents had split custody, and Alice was 100% a mother figure to me. We're very close, and she's been there for me in every tough moment. She also helped pay for my college and grad school, which I greatly appreciate. My mom is a good mom, but we've never been as close as I am with my dad and Alice. Our personalities are very different. We're planning the first dances right now and have my first dance with my fiancé, and she has hers picked out with her dad. Her parents are still married, so there's no drama there. But being so close to Alice, I really don't feel right excluding her and only dancing with my mom. So I asked her if she'd be comfortable doing one with me as well. She was overjoyed and cried with emotion. I'm really excited about it, but once my mom found out, she flipped out, said I'm replacing her as my dad had replaced her. I told her it's not a replacement, but she's been so supportive of me my entire life, and I consider her a true bonus mother, so I don't want to exclude her. But she doesn't want to accept that. So yesterday, my aunt, mom's sister, called me and ripped me a new one. I know it's a little controversial, but in my heart, it's what I really want to do. Am I the idiot for going through with this and having two mother-son dances? Personally, I've been to a few weddings with steps involved where there were two mother-son or father-daughter dances, and it seemed really sweet, not like overkill. I will do the shortened versions of the songs, so it won't be too long if that matters. Not the idiot. Alice has been in your life since you were 5. So basically, most major formative years and events, she's been extremely supportive, helped you get through school, and has been a true mother figure in your life, and you want to share this big event with both of your moms. If your mom doesn't want to share that time with Alice, no one can force her. But she also can't force you to snub a woman who's always been there for you from such a young age, because she's still hurt by something that happened decades ago. Yes, and I know it's not for me to judge people holding grudges, but OP said they divorced when he was 5. He's now 29, and his dad and Alice are still together. It might sting, but it's also reality. OP's mom must come to terms with the reality of the situation, and now her son has replaced her. This woman stepped into her life and took her child. Their relationship is arguably closer. Wouldn't you have a problem with that? OP, when you're saying your vows to your wife, staring into her eyes, and telling her how much she means to you, I want you to picture your future family. Now imagine your wife having intimacy with some other dude, and your wife unrepentantly says, well, screw you, you're not good enough, and she leaves. So all you have left in the world is your child. And now you're looking your mom in the eye and saying, yeah, of course, she's just better than you. Dude, just wow. Your lack of empathy for your mom is staggering. My point is that don't be surprised if your mom doesn't attend the wedding. Don't be surprised if you never talk to your mom again. Dude, your mom's life was burned to the ground, and now you're hugging and dancing with the woman who lit the match in front of a crowd. Man, I just can't fathom hating my mom that much, but you do you, idiot. I agree. If Alice was a good person, she would manage some empathy for the woman who's OP's actual mom. She could say, honey, that is such an honor to be asked, but I don't want to hurt your mom. And as a mother myself, I know just how hurtful it would be. You should share that special mom dance with just her. OP, this woman broke your family and then warmed her way into your heart with money, and you're saying it puts her on the same level as your real mother? Wow. I, female 29, own my own apartment. It was inherited, and I know I'm extremely lucky. However, to be able to keep the apartment, I rent out a room. We share a kitchen, a living room, and a bathroom, and have separate bedrooms. When my current roommate, female 26, signed the contract, I reviewed it with her. Mostly standard stuff, but one section is added that no cats or babies. Children are allowed. Cats, because I'm highly allergic, and children because I don't want to live with a child. Children visiting is fine. We have an agreement that any long-term visitors will need to be cleared by the other person. Breaking those rules will lead to eviction. We get along great. We're quite similar in our habits. She always pays her rent on time, and there is no food stealing. After about a year, she calls me into the bathroom one day. Standing in front of the mirror in a foreign-fitting stretchy dress, she looks at her stomach. She asks me if I think the dress still fits her. I could see her stomach was bigger, but I sometimes look like that in the evening, so I assumed she was bloated. I brush it off and say she looks fine. We should normalize being bloated at the end of the day. She gives me a weird look before she says she's not bloated. She's 3 months pregnant. Yep, that's how she decided to tell me. Anyway, I'm kind of taken aback as it came out of the blue. She's never mentioned it before or wanting a kid or a boyfriend. Found out the pregnancy was from a one-night stand. After probably looking like an idiot for a few seconds, I calmly congratulated her. Not with a lot of enthusiasm per se, as I really don't get excited about the idea of pregnancy and babies, and this really was a surprise. But I was polite enough after an awkward silence before I made up an excuse to have to go study. A few weeks go by, and we kind of just go back to normal. While making dinner one evening, I ask her if she's found a new place to stay. She's really confused and asks what I mean. I reminded her of the contract she signed that says no babies can live here. I tell her that she can stay up until the baby comes, but it's wise to look for a new place soon. I don't know if she assumed she'd be able to continue to stay here with the baby, but I guess so. A few days later, I started getting texts from her friends calling me an idiot for kicking out a pregnant woman on the street. She has like 5 months to find a new place, and I charge a pretty average rent for the room, so it's not like she can't afford other places with roommates. I completely understand why I might seem like an idiot to some, but I genuinely think I'm in the right here. Why should I ignore my boundaries and comfort because my roommate decided to have a baby when she knew from the beginning it's a deal breaker to live here? Anyway, I guess I'm here to get a wider perspective on this. Not the idiot. It's your apartment, and she signed a contract. Getting knocked up does not automatically qualify you for exceptions. You haven't kicked her out. You've told her she needs to find a new living situation. She has months to find a new place, and all those friends calling and texting you can offer up their home for her to stay. Did she think you would help raise this baby and just forget about the contract? When was she going to tell you? LOL. If she thinks she's going to do this all by herself, maybe she doesn't understand what's about to happen here, because it's hard for me to imagine how you wouldn't get pulled into helping all the time, or at the very least, being very inconvenienced and looking like a jerk when you tell you won't help out when she's exhausted and sleep deprived. So, I completely understand why you'd want to keep the boundary. Exactly. She did agree to the contract. No babies means no babies. You were never the kind of besties that you'd put up with someone else's baby, and you gave her 5 months' notice as well. Her financial situation is not yours to solve, and it's much kinder to be firm about this now than when she comes home from the hospital and finds her stuff on the curb. My wife and I have been married for a decade. She's a stay-at-home wife, and we have no children. She has a daughter from a previous relationship, Sarah, and we've gotten along for the most part. Sarah's a junior in college pursuing a biology degree with additional courses required by medical schools. She's dreamed of being a doctor and helping people since her mom and I met. The problem is, she could be a better student. She's failed her biology one class and had to retake it to get a B. She really struggled in her next level biology class and finished with a C. She also got a C in her chemistry class. She got a B in calculus 1 and 2. She's making A's in her non-science and non-math classes, so they're padding her GPA, which is at a 3.2. This semester, I just learned that she'd make B's and C's in her science and math classes. I'm not a doctor, and I don't know any doctors, but I did online research. I discovered that medical schools require many things, but at the top of the list is a high GPA and top grades in science and math classes. Unfortunately, with Sarah's grades, she's not getting into any medical school. I even looked into nursing school to see if I could talk her into going that route, and all the ones I looked at require higher grades than she has. I talked with my wife about it, and she said that medical schools look at other things besides grades, and that's where Sarah excels. She has a solid volunteer resume, and she cares about people. I argue none of that mattered if her grades weren't good enough. She argues that Sarah will do great in the interviews. As I said, I have no experience with medical school, so I can't argue with her logic. Instead, I talked with Sarah when she came home for Thanksgiving and told her to look into another major because she might not be cut out to be a doctor. She ran to her mom, and we all got into a huge argument. I lost my temper and yelled that I'm not wasting any more money on something she'll fail in. I told them both I'm not paying for next semester's classes unless she changes her major to something more realistic. I feel bad, I do, but I'm not rich, and I don't have money to waste if she doesn't have a chance to get into medical school. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Medical schools are very competitive, and everyone has a minimum GPA requirement. If her GPA is below that, they'll automatically reject her without the chance of an interview. Sometimes being a good parent is putting a stop to the madness and saying no, even though it's hard. I would go and speak with some professors and guidance counselors about this and see what they say, then have her go with you before any decision is made about her future. Is she aware of the work that goes into being a doctor? What would it be like? Can she do some work at a hospital and see how hard it is? See if nursing is best for her? You are the idiot. It's your money, but to tell your stepdaughter out of nowhere that you cut the money isn't nice. Give her 1 semester to achieve better grades and prove herself, then she'd know what she had to do and what was on the line. I'm a successful engineer. Do you know what I had to calculus 1 and 3? Do you know what I never used since school? Any of my college classes. While a different career path, classes don't correlate to real-world experiences. Next time you go to your doctor's office, please ask your doctor about the last time they used calculus 1 or 2 in treating a patient. You are the idiot. It's not wasteful just because she doesn't have a 4.0. I've usually gotten along with all my son's teachers until now. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a single mom from my son's third grade class, and she was complaining about how hard it is to be a single mom. Then she said, "You single dads have it so much easier than single moms." The stuff she was complaining about seemed more about her being lazy, and it's not like her kid's dad isn't as involved as she is. I, on the other hand, am raising a preschooler and a young child solo. There's no child support, no one to take them off my hands, etc. I can't tell you how helpful it is when both have an after-school play date with other kids. Parents take little stuff like that for granted. In response, I told the single mom, "It's not that I have it easier, it's that I have my act together." She was offended by my remark, but it's true. Yesterday, I was speaking to my son's teacher. She's someone I wouldn't get along with, so I don't try to deal with her unless I must deal with her. She asked me if I thought it was helpful to tell other parents that they were lazy. I asked her if she was helpful with her grammar and spelling errors in her class emails. She asked what errors. I said, I'll send her some examples, because I wanted to be helpful. So I did, and she hasn't responded. Personally, she should be paying more attention to her emails and less to providing commentary on discussions that she wasn't a part of. Not the idiot. Parents can't run to their child's teacher because of another adult. Also, if she took that as you told her she's lazy, then that's on her. She obviously knows it's true and got offended by it. Also, no reason for a teacher to mingle with parental stuff that has nothing to do with the child or education. I'd be petty too if she didn't have correct grammar teaching my child. Everyone's the idiot here. Look, I get it must be infuriating to have your parenting undermined by someone else, but take a breath and seek out the high road every so often. The mom was venting. Some people do a crappy job blowing off steam and bring other people down with them. Don't be like them. And while the teacher is way out of line to get involved with this scenario, your petty response was an unnecessary escalation. And there you have it, a journey through the emotional turmoil of family expectations and personal boundaries. If this story resonated with you or left you wanting more, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our latest stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever faced a difficult choice about family and personal values? Until next time, remember, standing up for yourself and your loved ones can sometimes be the hardest, yet most important. Welcome back, everyone. Today's story is a roller coaster of hidden truths, family secrets, and a young girl's journey to reclaim her identity. Imagine growing up believing your father abandoned you, only to discover that your mother had kept him away all along. This is the nerve-wracking tale of a girl who found out her mother's shocking secret and decided to leave for a better life. Let's dive into the gripping story titled, "My Mother Hid the Truth About My Father for 14 Years, and Now She's Furious I'm Leaving Her." Let's get started. My teen female mom always told me that my dad left when he found out my mom was pregnant. When I was 2, my mom married a man with 3 kids, currently 21 male, 19 male, and nearly adult female. My stepdad was the only father figure I ever knew, and when I was younger, I wanted him to be my dad, but he never accepted me. I also have four half-siblings, tween female, younger tween female, younger tween male, and pre-tween male. My stepsister is definitely the favorite out of us older kids. My stepdad often seems only to care about her and the younger ones. My mom and stepdad don't have a lot of money, so it's pretty cramped. I have to share a room with my half-sisters. I always wear my stepsister's hand-me-downs, and we live in a crappy neighborhood, so I go to a crappy school. Sometimes, we don't even have enough food. About a year ago, a woman contacted me on Instagram and told me she thought I might be her husband's daughter because he was dating my mom a few months before I was born. She told me that my mom ghosted my dad shortly after she got pregnant and moved to a different state. He tried to find her, but couldn't. I didn't believe her at first, but after she sent me a picture of my mom and her husband, I decided to ask my mom. She confessed and told me she left my dad because she didn't want to commit to a relationship. I continued talking to my dad and stepmom, and they decided to come visit me. After I told him what it's like at home, he told me that he would fight for custody and the court would probably listen to me if I said I wanted to live with him. I wasn't sure then because I didn't want to abandon my mother. I told him I'd think about it and let him know. After thinking about it, I decided I'd rather live with him. My stepmom always wanted kids, but she's infertile and she already loves me a lot, even though we've only met a few times. They also have a lot more money than my mom, so I could have my own room and new clothes, and I could go to a much better school. I know my reasons are really selfish, but I'd have a much better life with him. After I told him, he went to court and got primary custody of me. My mom's been giving me the silent treatment ever since, but yesterday when I was packing, she yelled at me and called me selfish for abandoning her and my little siblings as soon as my dad showed up and said that if my dad loved me so much, he should have tried to find me earlier. I think she's the selfish one. She kept me away from my dad for the first 14 years of my life. Honestly, I think she's just mad because she won't have anyone to watch her kids anymore, and because my dad's been paying her $1,000 every month since he found me, and she won't have that anymore. Everyone except my younger half-brother and stepbrother is acting like I don't exist. My dad'll pick me up on Sunday, and honestly, I can't wait. Edit. My dad's been paying child support for the last year, not my whole life. Not the idiot. Your mom is the selfish one cutting ties with your bio dad and disappearing because she wasn't ready for a committed relationship when she got pregnant. She took away your shot of having your dad in your life. She stole you from your father and a relationship you never got to build, and it sounds like you feel neglected in your current living situation. Go and build a relationship with your birth father and don't worry about what your step or half-siblings think. They're probably jealous because this whole thing sounds like some Cinderella story. She's afraid of commitment, but 2 years later, she's marrying a guy with 3 kids. Sounds like she found out how hard it was raising a kid alone and got over that fear real quick. Also, who wants to bet that bio dad wasn't as wealthy as he currently is when mom didn't want to commit to a relationship? I think you're right. Mom's angry that she's losing her live-in babysitter. I think she also has a bruised ego because you chose him instead of her, but what did she expect? She's been lying to you your entire life and has stuck you with a stepfather that doesn't care about you. Also, the court would have not given him primary custody without a good reason. Child, with all the wisdom in my soul, I tell you that you should pursue people who truly love you. It's not your job to ensure your mom is okay. It's the other way around. There's a lot about this situation that you're likely going to figure out later on in life wasn't the norm or wasn't quite okay. I think you should ask your father and stepmom to put you in therapy if you're open to that. Just remember, you're inherently worthy of being loved and loving yourself. You don't have to do anything to earn the right to be loved. You simply deserve to be loved. That's it. Full stop. I wish you the best. Homer Simpson said it best. I have 3 kids and no money. Why can't I have no kids and 3 money? I, female 29, am married and plan on having kids in the next decade, but I come from a family that is in a weird cult that thinks children are the end-all and be-all. I'm the only girl with 7 siblings, and I have 20 nieces and nephews. I hated growing up like this, and I promised myself I wouldn't have kids until I was secure in my career and marriage. My 5 oldest brothers are all tradesmen and make a good living to support their growing families. My youngest brother, however, had a chance to get out. He went ROTC and everything was going great until he came home one Christmas and my family started crapping on him for not starting a family. Well, now he has 3 kids and no money. His wife stays home and watches the kids. My parents approached me about helping him out since I, quote, have more money than I need. I don't though. I'm saving up for my family. My parents only see that my husband and I live in a big house, drive new cars, and take awesome vacations. They cannot compute that the reason I can do this is because I don't have kids yet. I told them that I would contribute equally as they and my other brothers did. I wouldn't match it. I would just put in as much as the person who put in the least. They said I was being petty and parsimonious. I said that I thought my offer was fair, but that I'd withdraw it if they didn't agree. They're mad at me, and several of my brothers called to give me grief for hoarding my blessings. I may have been rude when I said that I had always been taught that children were the greatest blessing, so they were all better off than me. Not the idiot. You aren't obligated to help your family. You can if you want, but it's a form of abuse if they try to guilt you into it. You are being responsible, and they're being irresponsible. Why should you have to cover for their irresponsibility? Also, if you help them, it never ends. The burden will simply grow over time, and they will come to be reliant on it. When you later try to pull back the support, they'll act like it's abuse to not help them. Don't start. OP, tell them you tied 10% to Planned Parenthood and you don't have any left over. I love how people decide what to do with your money. Give, don't give, whatever amount. It's all up to you, not anyone else. Their money problems aren't your issue. Your brothers should learn to use protection. Calling your money a blessing is just a convenient way for them to downplay the fact that you've worked hard and saved to get where you are, so they can manipulate you into sharing that blessing since you're just so lucky to have it and your brother isn't. Miss me with that crap, y'all. Enjoy your hard-earned prosperity and congrats on escaping this cultish mindset that reduces women to baby factories. Stay strong and good luck. My boyfriend, 30, and I, 30 female, were invited to his friend's wedding. I've met the bride and groom a few times. He's known them for decades. There's a local tradition for each guest to bring a dozen cookies to the wedding. Then at the wedding, everybody's cookies are displayed together to make a cookie table. We wanted to participate, so we baked cookies the night before. I have a very beautiful and expensive tea tray. My boyfriend suggested that I use it to display the cookies. I said, no, it's a 300-person wedding, and I don't want some auntie accidentally taking it home with her. My boyfriend seemed fine with this. We found a simple bowl perfectly appropriate for the occasion and used that to display the cookies. After the wedding, as we were preparing to leave and I went to retrieve my bowl, my boyfriend told the newlyweds that I didn't want to use my tea tray because I thought one of the guests might steal it. I tried to backtrack by saying I didn't want it to get misplaced or damaged, but he called me out online. The newlyweds said something about everyone there being friends and family. It was very awkward and we left shortly after. I'm angry because I told him that in confidence, and he should have known better than to repeat that to his friends, even though they were very close. Not the idiot, but your man sure is. No more cookies for him until he learns to behave better in public. Over the years, I've lost many things at potlucks. It happens. You were correct in using something you could live without if it got lost in the shuffle. Your boyfriend was a bit crass in bringing up your concern, in my honest opinion. What is the boyfriend's problem? What could he have accomplished by saying that? It was so unnecessary, and I doubt anyone was going around asking why these trays and not more expensive ones too. At best, he was trying to get a chuckle out of the newlyweds. At worst, he was trying to straight up humiliate Opie. Neither is acceptable, of course. The man is an idiot and sounds completely socially awkward. I gasped when I read this, suspecting this may be an antique. Your boyfriend is a jerk, and this crap does happen. I loaned my very perfect and expensive silver tray service for a wedding. As I was at the wedding, I didn't see what they were up to until it was too late. Someone took my service off the tray and used a carving knife to cut up meat and cheese on the tray, gouging huge score marks all over it. It is ruined. So, not the idiot for wanting your property to be protected. But I would seriously consider if you want to be in a relationship with someone who would do you dirty like that. I'm an artist. The majority of my income is tabling at conventions like Comic-Con. I work hard, not to toot my own horn, but I'm skilled and invested a lot of time and money, and that rewards me with a good income and a cool job. My niece is starting to draw, mostly anime characters. She has an iPad and a program I use because she wants to be like me, and that's cool. Not to be an idiot, but she's learning. Don't get me wrong, she is better than most kids her age, and practice will help. I'm excited to see her improve, as she's only been doing it for a few months. But right now, it's lacking. If I didn't know her, I'd think it was bad. She's a kid, that's mean. Unfortunately, it's relevant. Scene. Big convention. My biggest moneymaker. Highest stress event on my calendar. Long days, long weekends, high cost, high reward. My niece loves anime, so the family's going too. The week before I get a call, they've made prints of my niece's art and want to put them on my table. I said they could have a little space. On day one, they left her with me to be a little helper. She stood in front of my table, directing people to her prints. I lost a lot of sales. People wanted to look at her art and coo at the adorable child, but that resulted in people blocking my table. On day two, I said I wouldn't babysit. I had a table to run. Her parents stayed, much worse. They blocked the table and accosted anyone who came up, interrupting people buying from me to talk about my niece. I was stressed and tired. I'm ashamed I barely stood up for myself. Every time I tried, I was told off. I had a panic attack all Saturday as my aunt and uncle grabbed away potential customers. On day three, they left. My niece was overwhelmed. Her parents were mad at me. Day three was slow, but I made the most money. So, yeah, glad they weren't there. Usually, I make 3 months of rent at this con. Footfall and hype were high. I barely broke even. Part of the issue is there's no way she would get into these conventions alone, and most of the ones I attend require a portfolio to apply, and she definitely wouldn't qualify, so they just can't get her own table. But they want to bring her to the next one, take more table space, more merch. She sold a dozen prints, and I'm proud of her for that. But these events can cost thousands, and I can't afford to finance her. I put my foot down. If this was another job, you couldn't force a take your niece to work day. But because art is a hobby, they've pushed the boundary. They argue I should be a role model, that I'm jealous of the attention, I'm afraid of the competition, I'm selfish for thinking I'm better, etc. I got angry and said, yes, my art is better. It's my income. It's good enough to sell. They said she needed me, and she wouldn't be accepted if she applied to cons herself. I said there was a reason for that. It was mean, but also literally true. This is my job. I won't compromise it. So, get a real job. She could do art fairs, easier stuff. I offered to take her to a small event, but that enraged them. How dare I gatekeep? I'm not her parents' ticket to her fame and fortune. They bring up my follower count and think I should leverage it for her benefit too. But that puts a major dip in my engagement. Family thinks I'm the idiot. Am I? Not the idiot. It's your income. If you can't survive, you're no inspiration to anyone. Let them set up and pay for her own table and experience the boring side of the industry. They're messing over your livelihood. That's not acceptable. And if they do it a second time, it could mean you end up homeless. You've basically taken a massive pay cut this year to let this child cosplay as a commercial artist. The absolute entitlement of them. They can book and pay for their own table. They can learn the real cost of selling. Honestly, I'd send them a bill for half the cost of the table. Stop trying to cling to these relationships. Your sister is awful, her husband is awful, and that kid isn't gonna turn out well either. Go ahead and make them angry. They don't want to accept that you had to work your way up, so your niece will have to as well, as her art improves. Oh, B. Learn to grow a spine. You gave up 2 days of earning because you didn't stand up for yourself. Even posting here, if you're the bad guy in this situation, is weak. You couldn't tell a kid on the first day to sit down and get out of the way. You just let her stand there, presenting her artwork for the entire day. As soon as you saw you lost your first potential customer, you should have done something. You don't have to insult your niece at all. Just draw the line that this is your job. You don't have to justify your job. Don't invite them to the next one. If they show up and won't listen, then call security to remove them from your table so they get the message. My parents adopted my older brother, 35, when he was 12, and when he was 19, they had me, female teen. My parents loved my brother and gave him a very good life. However, they loved me more, which is natural, considering they raised me my whole life while they met him when he was much older. My brother loved to pretend they were some kind of monsters, and he was such a helpless victim. He will tell you a dramatic story about how his curfew is 10 when he was a teenager, while mine is 11, or how he got a second-handed car and I got a new one. Yesterday, he was over, and I asked Dad if I could go shopping with my friends and asked him to give me some money, and he said okay. My brother said, "What? Just like that? You never gave me money this easily. She's the favorite, isn't she?" I finally snapped and told him, "Yes, I am. Get over it already. You are an adult. You have a child. Why can't you be grateful for the life you had, instead of acting like a jealous kid?" He got so mad and called me an idiot and left. This is Rich. You're blind to his feelings because you benefited from being the favorite. You are the idiot and a prime example of what a spoiled brat sounds like. You seriously lack empathy for saying that to him and not seeing how much of an idiot you are here. How horrible of you, and nothing you said makes you the favorite and makes you the youngest child. And your parents have had time to get more financially stable, so you've had more financial advantages than he did. Also, first children are usually treated more strictly than the ones who follow. Parents can relax. You should apologize for what you said, and I hope your parents heard and take appropriate action. I'm a younger child, so I would be in your shoes, but frankly, I would never say something out of malicious intent like that to my siblings. Yeah, we joke about it, but that's it. A joke. I feel like you're holding not being adopted over his head, like you're better or something. You really need to reevaluate how you treat him. It doesn't even matter that he's 35. He's still your brother, and treating him that way will not get you anywhere, except for cut off. I hope you mature into a kinder person than you demonstrate here. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. If this story resonated with you or sparked any thoughts, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking stories and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you have a story of your own that you'd like to share, drop it in the comments or send it to us. We'd love to feature it in a future video. Thanks for watching, and welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the most jaw-dropping tales of family drama and relationship twists. Today, I have a story that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Imagine planning a peaceful family vacation, only to have it almost derailed by the most unexpected and shocking revelation. Buckle up as I take you through this wild journey titled, "My Mother-in-Law Burned My Passport to Ruin Our Vacation, Then I Found Out She Has Feelings for Me." Our story begins with a man named Liam, who has been enduring the relentless antics of his mother-in-law, Isabella. Little did he know, this family trip would uncover secrets that would change everything. My name's Liam, and I'm a 35-year-old man. My mother-in-law, for whatever reason, didn't like me for a very long time. You could argue that it was because I was stealing her precious princess away from her, but she doesn't act that way with her other children and her other daughter-in-laws, sister-in-laws. I always suspected that she had a personal problem with me, which honestly to this day hasn't properly been confirmed with her. But I'm glad that I, at the very least, got some revenge for her stupid antics. Let me tell you the story. From the very beginning, Isabella, my mother-in-law, and I clashed like oil and water, like fire and ice, like pineapple on pizza. Don't argue with me. She had a knack for getting under my skin with her passive-aggressive comments and disapproving glances. Whether it was about my choice of career or my lack of culinary skills, Isabella never hesitated to let her opinion be known. This one time, she fought with me because of a rug. A stupid rug. Can you imagine? This is how the argument went. "Liam, I can't believe you didn't get the rug I wanted for the living room. It's like you never listened to me. Isabella, this is my house and I should have the freedom to choose the furnishings. The rug I bought is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine? It's hideous. You have no taste. This is just another example of your incompetence. Enough, Isabella. I'm tired of you constantly belittling me and listing all my shortcomings. I work hard to provide for this family and I deserve some respect. Respect? Respect is earned, Liam, and you've done nothing to earn it. You're just so useless in so many ways. I can't have this conversation right now. Our conversations would normally go like this, with Isabella fighting me for something stupid and me leaving without engaging any further. That woman was sick. She definitely enjoyed seeing me angry, so I did my best to not give that to her. I genuinely believed that she had some sort of mental problem because the way she behaved was crazy. I often turned to my wife, Harper, seeking solace and understanding. Harper and I were a team facing the world together, but when it came to her mother, she often felt caught in the middle, torn between her loyalty to me and the ties of blood. She would listen to my grievances and offer comforting words, but deep down, we both knew that Isabella's ways were detrimental. One day, Harper approached me and said, Liam, I have some exciting news. I've been thinking about your situation with Mom, and I believe I found a way to improve your relationship dynamic with her. Really? I wasn't expecting any surprises. What do you have in mind? I planned a family vacation for all of us. I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to spend time together in a fun and lively environment, away from the daily stress and tension, and maybe you two could work on your relationship. Harper, I appreciate your efforts, but do you think a vacation can really fix things? My relationship with Isabella is so strained. She hates me. She doesn't hate you, babe, but I understand your concerns. It's a chance for us to reconnect, create positive memories, and find some common ground. Plus, Mom seemed genuinely excited about the idea when I mentioned it to her. Isabella was actually enthusiastic about a family vacation? That's unexpected. Yes, I was just as surprised as you are. Maybe this is an opportunity for a fresh start. We can focus on enjoying ourselves and work on building a bond between you two. I guess it's worth a try. If it means a chance to improve our relationship, then I'm willing to give it a shot. That's the spirit, Liam. I believe this vacation can bring us closer together. We'll make it a memorable experience for everyone. I was a little bit giddy. I enjoyed vacations, but I was also obviously worried that things wouldn't even work out because Isabella was just hell-bent on making me angry. But I did say that I would try, so that's what I had to do. Slowly but surely, however, my hesitation grew into full-blown doubts. She was enthusiastic, making suggestions and even offering to help with the planning. This sudden change of heart set off alarm bells in my head. Isabella had never shown such eagerness before, and it made me suspicious. I couldn't shake off the feeling that something fishy was going on. Nonetheless, I kept my suspicions to myself. If I'm being honest, I think that I felt quite guilty for holding on to these suspicions. I didn't want to bring these negative vibes on our trip, and I didn't want Harper to be angry with me for being suspicious. So I kept it to myself. But surely enough, call it intuition or good luck, I found out the truth and I was right. But let me not get ahead of myself. Amidst the uncertainty, Harper and I prepared for the trip, hoping that the change of scenery would bring about some much-needed tranquility. A week had gone by, and our trip was rapidly approaching. We packed our bags, double-checked our passports, and eagerly anticipated the adventure ahead. Now, it's worth mentioning that regarding the passports, I also had a gut feeling that something awful was going to happen. Because later on that evening, Isabella called. Harper wasn't in the room at that time, so I answered the phone for her. Hey love, make sure that your passports are left on the table tomorrow. Oh, hey. Harper stepped out for a moment. What's up? Liam, I was expecting Harper. Well, anyway, I just wanted to remind you both to leave your passports on the table so that we don't forget them. Why? The trip isn't for another 3 days, approximately at least. Leaving them out on the table so soon can be problematic. I think it's better if we keep the passports in our bags for now. Harper enters the room, sensing tension in the conversation. What's going on, Liam? It was your mother calling, and I just thought I should answer. Isabella was reminding us to leave the passports out, but I suggested keeping them in our bags instead. Leaving them out on the table might not be the safest idea. We could accidentally knock them over or forget them altogether. Yeah, that sounds like a better plan, Liam. We don't want to risk losing them or causing unnecessary trouble. Isabella, clearly frustrated by our responses, finally said this. Fine, I need the passports out, especially your passport, Liam. You're so useless. I'm sure you'll forget it if it's not right in front of you. Why did you need my passport specifically? And why would you say that? Well, it's because you're always so absent-minded and irresponsible. I can't trust you to remember anything important, so it's better if you just leave them out. Isabella, that's not fair. I've been responsible and capable of taking care of my things. Okay, let's take a step back. We all want this trip to go smoothly, and we don't need any unnecessary arguments. Mom, we appreciate your concern, but I agree with Liam that it's safer to keep the passports in our bags for now. If you don't leave your passports out tomorrow, then I'm not going on this trip. Both Harper and I shared a look of bewilderment. How could she resort to something so unnecessarily stupid? I was done with the conversation, and I wasn't about to enable Isabella by nagging her and forcing her to come. Harper, being the sweeter one between us, decided to do exactly that. The call ended with Harper agreeing to leave out the passports as instructed, and I was upset that Harper complied so easily. You know, the reason why she's always getting angry over stupid things is because she knows that you'll always take her side. That's not true, Liam. I don't always take her side. I just try to avoid unnecessary conflicts with her. You know how she can be. But Harper, it's like she's controlling everything. She manipulates situations and expects us to bend to her will. We can't keep letting her dictate our lives. It's not that simple, Liam. Confronting my mother is extremely difficult for me. She's been like this all her life, and I've learned to navigate around her outbursts. It's easier to comply than to challenge her. I understand, Harper. I'm sorry for everything you have to go through, but there needs to be a point where enough is enough. We can't keep sacrificing our happiness for her satisfaction. I just want to have a good time on this vacation. I don't want tension or arguments ruining it. For now, let's just do as she says and hope for the best. We can deal with the consequences later. Fine, Harper. If that's what you want, then I'll go along with it. But I hope you realize that we can't keep enabling her behavior forever. Harper and I argued back and forth about this. It was hard to admit at the time, but this strenuous relationship I had with my mother-in-law was seriously killing my relationship with Harper. It was annoying to constantly bicker about her mother. Instead of arguing about normal marriage things like finances, forgetting to take out the trash, or not doing laundry, we would argue about Isabella, and it was getting out of hand at this point. We were arguing about this well into the morning. Maybe we should just cancel the trip, Harper. It doesn't seem like Isabella wants us to have a good time. Liam, the trip is in just 2 days. We planned this for a long time, and I won't let her ruin it for us. We're going on that vacation, and we're going to enjoy ourselves. We both shared a moment of understanding, acknowledging the difficult position we were in. Even though I was reluctant, I agreed to comply with Isabella's demands for the sake of a peaceful vacation. Deep down, I knew that this temporary concession was not a long-term solution, but I hoped that the trip will provide an opportunity for us to properly reconnect and find strength together, as was the original intention of the trip. The next day arrived, and I was going about my day at work, trying to focus on my tasks and push aside the tension caused by Isabella's constant presence in our lives. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until I received a FaceTime request from her. I hesitated for a moment, contemplating whether to answer or not, but curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to see what she wanted. As I answered the call, my heart skipped a beat when I saw Isabella's face twisted into a malicious expression I had never witnessed before. It sent a chill down my spine, and I couldn't help but brace myself for whatever was about to unfold. Well, if it isn't Liam. I'm actually surprised that you answered my call. Honestly, I could say the same. What do you want, Isabella? Oh, nothing much. Just thought I'd share some of my thoughts with you. I'm listening. I hate you, Liam. I've always hated you. You're a worthless excuse for a man, and I can't stand to see you succeed. This isn't news, Isabella, but one thing I want to know is why. What did I ever do to you? I can't bear the thought of you being happy with her. You two, always laughing and enjoying yourselves. What is there to enjoy? You don't want to see your own daughter happy? What a pathetic excuse for a mother. Me? Pathetic? I'm just trying to protect my daughter. You make her believe that there aren't any problems in this world. She's too jovial and naive. You're making her dumb and clueless, just like you. That literally doesn't make any sense, Isabella. You've always tried to undermine me with the way that you speak to me. Anyone can see that you're obviously obsessed with me. Isabella's face turned from malice to embarrassment. It was like I caught her in something. She wasn't expecting me to say that, and she subsequently blushed at my words. Wait, you're not obsessed with me, are you? Well, I don't know what you mean. What are you trying to say? Oh my God, Isabella. Do you have feelings for me? What? Are you crazy? That's crazy. Why would I have feelings for you? You of all people. Don't be ridiculous. I don't even think about you. Well then, why are you so obsessed with grinding me down? It's like you're a little schoolgirl and you have a crush on me. You remember how it was back then if someone used to like you, they'd treat you like crap. This honestly has the same vibes. If I'm lying, then tell me, because I just don't understand why you hate me so much. Well, you see, the thing is, that's disgusting, Isabella. How could you have feelings for your sister-in-law? Well, what I was going to say before you cut me off is that I don't have feelings for you. So you can just shut up. Then why can't you stand the thought of Harper and I being together? Why don't you want us to be happy? Just shut up. Don't speak. I came here to do one thing, and after your preposterous allegations, I'm going to go ahead and do it with extra pride. As Isabella was speaking, I noticed her bringing up a passport to the camera's view. I was surprised to see the flickering flame of a lighter in her other hand. She sensed my confusion and began to smile that devilish smile she donned at the beginning of the call. And then she set the passport on fire. She began to laugh, but I didn't say anything. I just looked at her sternly with disgust and disappointment. She reveled in her malicious laughter, relishing in the destruction she had caused. You see, Liam, I hate you so much that I was willing to burn your passport into ashes. You will not go on this trip. You should just think of divorcing my daughter and moving to find someone else. What? Someone like you? I never said I don't like you, damn it. I'm certainly not obsessed with you. You're just delusional. Right. Well, okay. Why aren't you enraged right now? Didn't you see what I just did? I just burnt your passport, you fool. Yes, I did see what you did. But you got one thing wrong, though. That's not my passport. What? As she was exclaiming in shock and disbelief, I pulled out my passport from my laptop bag and showed her that I had it in my possession. Yep, got my passport right here. It turns out that when you tell people that they're useless and that they always forget things, they begin to be a bit more conscientious of their belongings. I thought it best to keep my passport with me because I could tell that you were up to something. But I told you to keep your passports out. That's why I'm at your place. Well, I'm sorry that I didn't fall for your vindictive plan, Isabella. I mean, what is wrong with you? Why would you even do something like that? Then, then whose passport did I burn? There's Isabella's here. Yours was meant to be here. Well, it's funny you ask that because if you recall, you left your passport here 2 weeks ago when you got back from Canada. I'm guessing that you thought you had it in your possession all this time. I laughed as I watched Isabella's face twist from anger to shock and then to embarrassment as she slowly realized that the passport that she burnt was her own. You made me do this. Sweetie, I didn't make you do anything. You're the one who wanted the passports to be out. I took out all three and left them on the table in the foyer just like you asked. But I knew that you had to be up to something, so I decided to keep mine with me. Honestly, you should blame yourself. Why didn't you open the passport and check the names? I did. I checked the first passport and it was Harper's. Then I didn't think that I needed to check the second one since I thought it was yours and I had forgotten that I left my passport at your house. Isabella began to whine about how all of this wasn't fair, but just like in the movies, she was yet another stupid villain with a stupid plan that went all wrong. She was hoisted by her own petard, as all the fancy people say, and I was enjoying the show. As she continued to cry and shout at me, I said, "You underestimated me, Isabella. I won't let you ruin my life or my relationship with Harper. Your reign of terror ends here. You think you've won? This is far from over, Liam. I will find a way to tear you two apart." Well, good luck with that. It seems that while you're continuing to concoct your evil plan, my wife and I will be enjoying a well-deserved vacation. We're gonna have a blast. You won't have fun. Why do you two get to have fun? It's not fair. This wasn't supposed to happen. I continued to laugh at her in her silly state of confusion and anguish, and I eventually cut the call because I was tired of the drama and I was sufficiently satisfied with how things turned out since she was the one who brought herself to her own demise. I could tell that, even after the call had ended, she was furious with herself for being so foolish. I went to the security guy at my job and asked him if he could give me the camera and audio footage of my office from the past hour, even though it was against company policy. He hesitated, but after briefly explaining the situation and upon reviewing what was recorded in my office himself, he gave me the footage as a favor. I'm guessing he understood that this was too important and that the truth had to be revealed. With the physical evidence of Isabella's deceit in hand, I went home and revealed everything to my wife, and by the end of everything, she was trembling with rage. Is this a bad time to say I told you that your mom was crazy? Don't test me, Liam. I'm beyond pissed. Does she really have some sort of crush on you? That's horrible. I genuinely believe so. I mean, why else would she act that way? That's why she's been so evil to me. I'm guessing she was trying to suppress her feelings, and her burning my passport would mean that I wouldn't go on the trip and she wouldn't have to witness us being so lovey-dovey to each other. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say at this point. And the fact that I let her in today, none the wiser. She must have called you and burnt the passport while I was out getting her medication so that I wouldn't suspect anything. Well, her plan almost worked. Had she just paid better attention to what she was doing. Both Harper and I laughed bitterly at the drama that was before us. Harper called her mother and, with some very colorful language, berated her for her stupidity. Isabella tried to deny everything, which made Harper more enraged as she revealed the footage that I had gotten from work. Isabella, for the millionth time that day, was too stunned and embarrassed to articulate a coherent response, signifying that she had, yet again, been caught in a lie. They went back and forth, with Isabella trying to lie and Harper berating her each time and presenting her with her inconsistencies. Harper ended the call with her mother very bitterly, vowing not to speak to her ever again. Harper and I went on vacation. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the greatest experience considering just 2 days prior we got some really shocking and disturbing news. My wife, unfortunately, felt like an idiot for not seeing through her mother all this time. But I tried my best to make my wife laugh by reminding her that her mother was the stupid one for burning her own passport. Although the vacation trip wasn't a 10 out of 10, it wasn't a waste because we did genuinely enjoy ourselves. I distanced myself from Isabella, considering her weird feelings about me, and Harper wasn't answering any calls, texts, or emails from her, staying true to her promise to never speak to her again. Isabella then tried to get other family members involved in this by saying we're bad kids for not listening to her and what she has to say. She's just lucky that we haven't released the footage to the other family members just yet. So for now, it's her word against ours. But Harper and I are seriously considering showing the other family members the information we uncovered. What do you guys think? Should we keep this matter private, or should we expose Isabella to everyone? If this story touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with others who might need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new story. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more